one second. It is Monday, May 20th, 2024. And I'm so thankful that you're able to join us this evening for our show. What I'd like to start out tonight is a conversation, about a winning strategy that we haven't talked about often, but I have had some events this weekend that really highlights for me the importance of bringing this up. And the winning strategy or the logic that I want to share with you is called the singleness of station. So think of it as SOS. And what it's trying to remind us is that there is some place in this world that we belong that is really just for us. It's not for everyone. It's just our place. And our goal should be to find out what that place is and what is unique about it, because it's going to allow for what's unique about us to shine. Not every place and person and thing can afford us and can be a safety net for us and can be a launch pad for us. So it's very important that we take the time to figure out where is that place that I can really be my very best. And sometimes it's just an alignment of people, places, and things that allow for us to enjoy that singleness of station. So I would encourage you to think about, what am I supposed to be doing? Where am I supposed to be doing it? How am I supposed to be doing it? With whom am I supposed to be doing it? With when is it supposed to happen? But really asking ourselves those questions and being very clear to seek those answers and to be on that quest to be prepared to accept those answers when they come. But it's important for us to just recognize that we're given certain things. I mean, if you look at your 10 fingers, none of them match each other. Each finger is given a separate print, and they don't match anyone else. Even if you are an identical twin, your fingers and your fingerprints would not match. So I think that it's just a reminder of our uniqueness and our singleness, and our should be our effort to figure out where is our place in this world. And sometimes we'll be able to figure that out by having conversations with others, and sometimes it requires an introspection inside of ourselves to figure out what that answer is. But it's important to understand that we're on a journey to figure that out and to share that with others and to position our lives to achieve that mission and vision and purpose and bringing them all together. So again, please keep that in mind as you are proceeding. So we have a guest this evening who is working to attain her personal best. So we're going to ask for Nisi to join us and to begin the conversation with us as to what that looks like for her. So without further ado, I will have Nisi join us on camera. So, Miss Nisi, hold on one second. Okay, how are you?
I'm doing great, Dr. Williams.
Very good. And Nisi, I'm going to ask you to raise your camera because the shirt you're wearing is going to have us on a different channel called OnlyFans, and I don't think we want to do that.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Okay. You're home. You're comfortable.
It's fine. I can hold it.
You're good. You're good. You're good.
Okay.
All right. Very good. So, Nisi, tell us a little bit about yourself, And more importantly, what are some of the things that you're working on at this particular point in your life?
Well, I currently used to be in your placement child care services, and
Hmm.
I didn't realize how lucky I was until I stopped being in child care services and went to a different placement and see how real it can really get, you know. But I'm currently 20 now. I'm out of DHS. I'm out of truancy and everything like that. I'm living on my own thanks to your help. And I'm currently just, trying to get my diploma, just figuring out what I want to do in life still. I was thinking about Job Corps, but,
Hmm.
it's still a thought, it's still a thought. I'm still just figuring out what's my strength and what's my weakness.
Hmm.
So,
Good. So you graduated high school when?
no, I didn't graduate. I actually didn't. I'm a
You
late
did?
grad. No.
Okay. So when do you plan on graduating high school?
I plan on graduating. I'm actually only 3 credits away from graduating.
Well, good.
It's just,
Congratulations.
yeah,
That's good.
yeah, thanks. I'm just, it was the whole situation of me moving, and I was going through some personal things with my mom. So
Hmm.
it was just, out of
Okay.
school.
Right. But you're very close, and I would encourage you to
Yeah,
finish that out. I mean, that's no more than a semester of even that to get.
exactly.
Okay, so you're close. And you said that you had some obstacles. More importantly than what the obstacles were, how did you overcome the obstacles? I think that's more important for people to hear. What happened that allowed you to get over whatever those challenges were?
Okay,
Did you hear?
Dr. Williams is breaking up a little bit, but I did
Okay,
hear what you said.
okay,
Um, I know you said how did I overcome the obstacles?
correct.
Well,
What?
for one, asking for help. I know that is a big thing, but sometimes we really do got to put our pride to the side and just ask for help. Like, I know me, I would sit there and just, would rather not, but I'm so young and I don't know how to do everything on my own. And, I'm still
Mhm.
figuring it out. I don't have all the resources or the answers. So sometimes, it is good to ask for help, or, someone that probably even been in the same situation as you see some where you want to be at in life, where you want to be in your success area. So I ask for help. That's how I
Okay,
personally overcome a lot of the tasks that I do.
good. So, Anisi, I think that's a really good point. I try to remind people you're on your own, but you're not alone. And I think your ability to reach out and to ask for help is important because you're again you're still young, and there's some things you're going to need some help with from others to make happen. So I think that's good that you're able to ask for help. What else has been helpful to you in overcoming your your challenges?
Um, I would say staying consistent and talking to God. I mean, I know those are,
Mm.
like really big challenges, but staying consistent, like when in life, like, oh, when I first started out doing a lot of stuff, it was like, oh, I'm never going to get there. I'm never going to accomplish this. And, just staying consistent and being disciplined and being humble, it definitely
But
helps.
but I also think, Nisi, you just said something that staying positive is important as well as staying consistent. And maybe
Yeah,
to stay consistently positive would also
exactly.
be something.
Exactly. You definitely have to stay positive, because without a positive mindset, you're not going to be anywhere. You're always going to think negative. So I definitely try to stay positive and always be grateful, no matter the situation or the circumstance I'm in. So I'm just always grateful. I could be down to my last dollar and nowhere to go, but I'm grateful that I'm still here. Because
Mhm.
I'm grateful that I can use my legs, because a lot of people can't get up and do that. So
Sure.
I definitely just try to stay grateful and hopeful in the situations that I'm in.
Good. And you also mentioned about a higher power, and you mentioned your relationship with God. Why is
Mhm.
that been, and why and
Um,
how is it important to you?
I'm actually spiritual because of my dad, and that's how I grew up. Like a lot of people, it's really easier said than done. That's one of those things where you could be like, oh, I turn to God or I pray, but do you really pray? Do you really talk to God? Do you take time out your day? to be like, thank you for waking me up, and I'm grateful for seeing another day. So I would say that that's something. I grew up in a spiritual family, so that's just something that I try to keep within me to help me keep going, and to knowing that there are going to be better days, you know. So that's just something that I try to keep within me.
And what are some of the things you have laid out in front of you that you want to accomplish?
Um, getting my high school diploma. I want to
Good.
own my own house.
Wow.
I want to start a business, you know. I just want to I want to treat my family good. You know, I want to give them the things that they deserve in life. I actually want to treat myself better because I know that I deserve it, you know. I want to be able to experience my 20s and be happy, you know. Like I want to have the full 20s experience, you know, like I'm not talking about going out drinking and smoking. That's not that. I'm talking about actually fulfilling goals. So when I'm in my 30s, I could sit back and kick up with my feet up, you know, like that's what I want to do. I want to fulfill my 20s, and I want to like explore and see what do I truly love to do. Like I know I like helping people, but what field can I fulfill that passion in? Like I know nursing, but I don't like seeing blood. So I know that's something that's not for me.
Right.
But I
Well,
know like
hold on a second. I think it's important to realize there's so many different kinds of nursing kind of jobs. So an example is that maybe as a school nurse you'll see some blood, but probably not a lot. So there are some jobs, or you even as a nurse, that you may not have the frequency of seeing something you don't want to see. So really talk about what you want.
mhm,
More so than what you don't want, and then just see if there's some way to work around that with doing. I know there's a friend that I have that did, as a nurse, reviewed healthcare claims. So she just reviewed people's paperwork. So she never
mhm.
saw. Okay. Um,
Easy.
yeah. So again, it just but her insight as a medical person looking at those claims made a difference. So just again,
Mhm,
if you want to be a nurse and you like that kind of role and responsibility, you can also probably find a way to be that, and then do the things you'd like to do without
mhm.
putting yourself in a bad situation.
True.
So you want to potentially be a nurse, and we have a nurse that works with us. Yeah, and she works with us, and she just I'll put on screen what she wrote. Sorry, it says here, I haven't seen any blood. She means in any. So she's been here with us for a year, and there's been no blood here. She's our agency, so just keep that in mind.
Mhm.
Um, there are different kinds of nursing jobs where there isn't blood. Because I mean, you're right. I mean, it sometimes when you see that kind of stuff, it's hard to deal with. But
Exactly.
she's still helping us medically, but no blood. Right.
Mhm.
So, do you have any children? Do you have any plans for children? Do you have plans for a relationship? What's some people would say I put that backwards. You should have a relationship first and then the children, whatever. But what are your plans when it comes to your family and friends?
I actually don't have kids. I don't want kids until I'm well and like successful in life, to
Mhm.
where, I could do everything for them and not have to worry about, even putting them on welfare to get, like food stamps and stuff like that. I
Sure.
don't want to have my kids on food stamps. So I want to be
Well, I don't,
successful.
I want to just say, Nisa, I was in the store the other day behind someone that had food stamps, and their credit card just looked just as good as mine. So I don't know if this thing about EBT cards, So
No, for real. Like, I, Dr. I ain't gonna never get too good for food stamps. I'm saying that, but
very
I
good.
personally would want enough money in life to be financially stable, all throughout my life and the rest of my kids' life. I don't want it to be, them to struggle or to feel like they can't afford this or they can't do that. Like,
Mhm.
but me personally, I have a sister. I have four brothers and I have one sister that my mom actually just had. So I feel like I got all the love I need by kids. I got my little sister, I got my brother. So I feel like, far as kids wise, I got my siblings, so I don't need no kids. But far as
Mhm.
relationship wise, I just want to better myself before I can even, start to love somebody else. I want to be fully in love with myself and, you know, get to know what I like to do and get to
Sure.
know everything about me before I could commit to someone else, and take that
Let me ask,
time to,
let me
you
ask
know,
you, let me ask you a question, Nisi, to think about. I'm sure growing up you went through some trauma.
yeah, for sure.
Do you think that affected your interest or not interest in having children because of some of the stuff you went through as a child?
Definitely. I would
Mhm.
definitely say that. Hmm.
Well, one of the things that I would encourage you to keep in mind is you may be one of the best people to have a child because you know so much. And a lot of
Hmm.
times, what we go through makes us scared to
Hmm.
do what we're prepared to do. You
Hmm.
know, a lot of things we weren't prepared for, but I think again, that you may be more prepared than the average person because of what you've gone through, and you
Hmm.
know what needs to be done to get it right, more so than what needs to be done to get it wrong. So I would
Hmm.
just encourage you not to be afraid of what your higher power may have gifted you with an
Hmm.
awareness, knowledge, that you don't have to sit on the sidelines and watch other people's children and watch your brothers and sisters, because I don't think your brothers and sisters are in strollers, right? They're not that. Um,
No, my sister only like a few months. She like, yeah, few months. I'm like 6 months.
okay, you 6 months younger than you.
E- no, she's a baby.
Oh, you okay. You do have a child that a sibling that's very young. You do.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know. Okay, wow. Um, so so I take that back. You may be able to roll them around. But there's nothing like your own. And again, I
Yeah.
think there's probably a love that you're able to give. But you're also very young, so you
Hmm.
have time. But what I've also seen happen for people is like, oh, I wanted to get myself together, and they said that when they were 20, and then they were 25, and then they were 30, 35, and now they're 45, and like I'm ready to have the baby, and like people are like, it may not.
Yeah.
So just be
That's
mindful
crazy.
of that wonderful timeline and clock that's ticking, and just don't forget to do some of the things that you really want to do.
Hmm.
And you mentioned wanting to go to Job Corps. What was it about Job Corps that you wanted to explore? What do they have that you may want?
I mean, they honestly have everything. I mean, you get some job courts. I know they pay you for just going.
Wow.
I know that you could get your diploma in job corps. I know that you can work, and after job corps, they'll like give you a good job, hook you up with a good job. I know that it's just around people that I don't know. Like, so me
Mhm.
personally, I don't want to be a bunch around a bunch of people that I know because it's so easy for me to get distracted.
Sure.
But if I'm in an environment where I don't know nobody, this is all new to me, I'm not
Mhm.
going to have no choice but to focus and keep my mind on the goal. This is what
Mhm.
I'm here for. This is my purpose. And that's it. But if I'm around, Sally from down the street who I grew up with, and then my
Mhm.
homegirl from over here who we used
Mhm.
to get into trouble back in the day, I'm
Mhm.
not going to be able to, keep my focus on that. So
Sure.
a lot of the times I be wanting to go where nobody knows me, you
Right.
know, and to
Mhm.
just like even when I was in placement, I was all the way out in Hatboro Horsham. Nobody knew me out there.
Mhm.
I loved it out there. I'm not gonna lie.
Mhm.
I really did because I built a different atmosphere for myself,
Mhm.
rather
Mhm.
than who knew me from my brother or who knew me from my mom. No, nobody knew me. They only knew Angel, Nisi,
Mhm.
you
Mhm.
know? So
Okay.
that's mainly what I want. I just want to, you know, be better for myself. I want to explore and see what I like coming back to that state.
Good. And it seems like you want a new beginning, right? You want to,
Yeah,
yeah,
that part.
and then stay fresh so you don't become stale. That's good. Well, Nisi, as we get ready to wrap up our time together, is there anything else you wanna share about how you're attaining your personal best?
um, Not necessarily my personal best, but I would say, Dr. Williams, you don't understand how much you truly helped me as a
Mhm.
person. Just by you having the program that you have, like Child First Services, you you never understand how lucky you are until you're not in a circumstance no more.
Mhm. Good.
So
Mhm.
I truly wanted to say I appreciate you and thank you again, because you did a lot for me that you probably don't even know that you did. But
Mhm.
I truly want to say thank you. And another thing is that when I was in placement, Listen, I didn't know how good I had it until I wasn't in there no more. Okay,
Right.
I was in
Wow.
there with 3 girls, and I came out of child first services, and I went into another place with like 13 girls. So
Right.
I had it
Right.
good. I had it good in child first. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna lie, and you really do look out, for your kids. You definitely help them. Like I want to say, Dr. Williams, you're really a great person, and I definitely appreciate the stuff that you did in my life that you probably don't know about, but the people and the team that you have helped me a lot.
Good. Good. And I think it's so important to know that and to hear that. And what I would ask you to do, Nisi, is there are sometimes we have some children who don't understand what you understand now. So we may lean into you. And I know Neats is working on putting together a Wednesday night. I think it's going to be on Wednesday nights, a mentoring opportunity for Zoom where different individuals present and past that can call in and get some mentoring. So I know Nitsa would love for you to be part of that when your schedule allows, and that's something we will compensate people to be mentors and to be available for an hour. Again, just so they can hear, because you're 20
Hmm.
years old and you were in their spot not too long ago, and I think you can
Exactly.
add a level of credibility and realness of what real life looks like that we, as the kids call us, the old heads cannot too well. But we may lean into you to ask for your support, and that you can help some other people who need to hear from people like yourself. So hopefully you'll
Hmm.
be answer the call when it's made. But I
Oh
want to
no,
say to
Dr.
you,
Williams, I told Miss Nisa that I'm more than happy to get on the call and and talk to the kids because like I said, you don't know how good you got it until you don't got it no more. Like I'm 20. There's not a lot of people out here like, here, Nisi, I'll help you, give me your hand. No, you're grown now. So now you gotta put on your big girl panties and do what you gotta do for yourself. But when I was in placement, no, I had Miss Jessica and everyone holding my hand, walking with me. But now I'm grown. So now I do it on my own. So, you don't realize how good you have it until you don't have it anymore. And I would say, Dr. Williams, whether if you know it or not, you spoil your kids. You
oh my
spoil them.
God,
I was spoiled. I was very much spoiled in placement. I
wow,
was. I'm not gonna lie.
wow. Well, it was my pleasure to spoil you. I think as you said, these are things you remember, and when you have your kids one day, you'll hearken back to the privileges and the love and the concern that was given to you, even though you were
Hmm.
in placement. So I
Exactly.
realize I'm trying to fight for you in the moment you're with us, but I also know generations will be affected. I can't cook anything, Nisi, but I can cook pancakes, and only because there was a staff person when I was in placement named Jim Elkins, and every Saturday morning he cooked pancakes. And people will tell you, and I can't cook very much, but my pancakes are pretty.
Yeah, yeah.
It was thanks to James Elkins. Every Saturday morning he would make those really good pancakes. So and I've been out of placement 45 years, so
Hmm.
it's something that is still part of you all these years later. So
Exactly.
that to me is a good part of being able to do the work that we do. But again,
Mm.
Nisi, we're real proud of you. We want to stay in touch. We want you to be part of the mentoring program. But as you need some support and a safety net going forth, please understand we're still here for you.
Of course. And I know you always was. And that's how I was when I was going through it. I called your phone like Dr. Williams, I need you right now. And you
Sure.
answered the phone. And sure enough, you answered and you got right on it. And that's why I appreciate you so much.
Yeah.
Because even after all these years, you didn't forget about me. You didn't just say, hey, you're not in my placement no more. I ain't got to worry about you.
Yeah.
No, you
Yeah.
still lended your hand out and you still helped me. And I'm forever grateful for that.
Very good. Well, very good. Well, Nisi, again, we're proud and we want you to continue to stay in touch and keep moving on and accomplishing the things in your life that you want to.
I
All right.
sure will.
Thank you so much. All right. So as we get ready to wrap up tonight, I think listening to Miss Nisi and her Nisi, sorry, and her story is extremely powerful, and more importantly, that she's willing to give back and to help other people. And she has some stuff that she still wants to accomplish, but I believe very strongly she's going to get there. She's built like that and for that, so I'm sure she will accomplish that. So again, just remember, there's a singleness and station for yourself, and keep that in mind, and always try to keep figuring out what that is, and make sure you're in the right place with the right people doing the right things. So without further ado, we're going to wrap up for tonight. Look forward to seeing you next Monday at 8 p.m. Till then, be well.